Welcome to a special, very, very special edition of the F6P news cycle. So special, I got Joe to come out for it. Guys, I'm just going to cut right to it. You can see it scrolling on the bottom there. Christian McCaffrey, CMC, when healthy, running back, just monster for fantasy football, has been traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Joe, this is huge news for fantasy football and, just football in general. I got to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, man. So glad I could be a part of this, man. This bomb dropped literally seconds after we ended the fantasy six-pack hour tonight. Just unbelievable news. Like, you said it, and I just go, what? You're kidding. There's no way. The 49ers? Come on. So first off, the package the 49ers got back, or the Panthers got back in for this, is a far cry from what they were asking and reportedly asking, right? They wanted 2 first-round picks. Nobody in their right minds was giving them that. But they ended up getting a second, a third, and a fourth for this, this upcoming draft. And then next season's, the 2024 draft, a 5th rounder. That's chump change for CMC. However, they will now be off the books for paying that massive salary, which I believe in our Slack channel, somebody put
I just put it there. Yeah.
Is that you?
Yes. Panthers will pay out the rest of CMC's contract this year.
There's only 690,000. So
no, that's the 49ers, but the 49ers will only have 690,000 for the remainder of this year. But then he's on the books for 12 million in 23-24 and 12 million in 25 with just a 1 million guarantee for injury.
Kind of a lot for a running back, but CMC, like you said, when he's right,
not Herschel Walker.
When he's healthy, is probably the RB1, right? When it comes to fantasy, like when he's right and he's in a good offense, and right now the Panthers has not been a good offense. He is a monster. We have seen way lesser running backs do great in San Francisco. We've already seen Jeff Wilson this year. We saw Elijah Mitchell. We've seen Raheem Mostert. We've seen Tevin Coleman. Like, we've just seen dudes like get called up off the practice squad. It feels like half the time, man. Like, just dudes that we never heard of come up and like, oh, somebody got hurt in front of him. 3 guys got hurt in front of him. Oh, this dude's going to be an RB1. Like, that's what happens to him. We're putting Christian McCaffrey in the Shanahan offense. Oh my God. Tingly feelings, man. Like, this is crazy. Like, if you feel awesome about it, right? It could be fantasy gold. For those of you who are thinking, well, what happens to Jeff Wilson when in Elijah Mitchell when he returns? They are non-factors in my book at this. This is pretty instant reaction. This literally dropped 10 minutes ago, as we're recording this. So a pretty instant reaction for me is Jeff Wilson and Elijah Mitchell when he returns. They are nobodies at this point. They are backup running backs. We have seen in the past Shanahan like to run with one guy. For the past couple seasons, he hasn't had just one dude unless there's just a lot of injuries. So Christian McCaffrey is now that dude. I think the biggest implication to me is like what happens to like Debo, right? Yeah. Debo was getting a lot of those rushing yards because they were kind of having to rely on him because, Mitchell was good, Wilson's good, but you needed somebody else to kind of spell. So does Debo now not get a lot of those rushes, which, by the way, was part of his contract? He had bonuses in his contract for rushes. So I wonder what he's thinking now. Like, excuse me?
I can't see him, I can't see it going away completely, but it absolutely is a tick against his rushing production. Hopefully this can be funneled more towards the passing and receiving work that he could potentially get, be a 1,300 receiving yard type of receiver this year. because you have someone like CMC to, give you that single coverage, because they are going to just be loading the box on CMC. But I'm with you on that instant reaction too with the backups with Jeff Wilson and Elijah Mitchell. Unfortunately, they are relegated to that kind of Deontay Foreman, Chuba Hubbard role that CMC limited his backups in Carolina to, especially with Shanahan's scheme.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good over there, I think. The worry will be like this week, right? And,
yes.
because it's Thursday night, Friday, basically Friday morning at this point. How much I think he'll play, but you gotta, he's not gonna know the entire playbook. It's gonna take him a couple of weeks to learn all that. Running backs can come in usually and do pretty well, but Shanahan runs a different scheme, right? He runs a pretty complicated scheme. So maybe we hold a little reservations in week 7 as far as CMC's production, but I think moving forward, man, this is just lights out gold for fantasy. And for those of you who play Scott Fish, you are loving this because he now no longer has a week 13 bye. He dropped in some drafts because he had a week 13 bye.
So, and I just want to, quickly touch over here because, with this huge news, one team's kind of being left in the dust here, and there is fantasy value to be had here. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on the Carolina backfield and, a little bit of the wide receivers moving forward now that you got Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard leading the charge.
So I think the running back to have there is going to be probably Foreman. Hubbard really hasn't shown anything. Foreman's shown some pop in the past. I guess the receiving core gets a little bit of a boost because they are going to see more targets go their way instead of going to CMC. But it's still just super hard to get excited about anybody in this offense.
I completely agree.
It's just been bad. So I'm not really like, I don't know.
There's always
DJ Moore will see 3 more targets that are still crappy every single week. So who cares?
Yeah, there's always 2 sides to a deal. So you always got to get both sides.
No, fair enough.
All right, guys. Well, that's been it. Joe, thank you again for joining me on this special edition of the news cycle. Before we head out, guys, just make sure you go check out all of our plans at fantasy6pack.net/plans. You can check out all of our Discord channels. We got a whole crap ton of channels, AMAs, Joe's, AMA, betting AMAs, just everything you can ask, unlimited questions, guys. But just of it is, it's a lot of fun. We all enjoy it. We enjoy talking to everybody. And just like everybody else, we enjoy busting each other's balls.
By the way, Keith Lott he wrote an article already as we're recording about this trade for the website.
And we are recording at 10:50 at night.
Yeah, so 11:50 Eastern time, by the way. So he jumped out of bed, wrote this article, so that is on the site. So make sure you go read that as well. It's going to have his thoughts. You got our thoughts here. So we're getting you guys rolling here on the CMC action. So good stuff.
Have a great night, guys.